So InTouch magazine came out with an article recently stating that Drake and JLo may be rekindling their 2017 relationship. Now, as we've been talking about these last few months, JLo is now divorcing her fourth husband, Ben Affleck. I've made a ton of videos about them. You can go ahead and look. I have linked them below. We've been talking about the dynamics between JLo and Ben's relationship. JLo has a very public, extensive love history, and we have been able to do some deducting based on her experience, based on her past relationships, and based on her own comments that she has shared with the public about what kind of a person she is, always looking for love. And based on all this publicly available information, we have created a pretty, I would say, accurate picture of who Jennifer Lopez is as a person who's looking for love. And when I read this article, you can't really believe everything you see on the tabloids, but when I read the article, I thought, this tracks. Like, it could very well be true. Okay, but let's go back. A lot of people apparently didn't know that JLo and Drake had a thing in 2017. It was very brief, but in JLo style, she made sure to post photos of them together and make sure that we knew, hey, something's going on. Now, there are rumors that little relationship was really a PR relationship to promote a single that was supposed to come out between the two of them. He was going to sample one of her songs and she was going to be in the video with him. And so to create buzz around this collaboration, she was, teasing the public by posting photos, hugged up with Drake and in the studio with him. And they went to some club or someplace and they were kissing and people were taking videos and photos. That's the rumor, that it really wasn't real, that it was all to promote a single. Either way, they know each other. They've known each other. They've spent a lot of time with each other, and they've worked together. The single never came out, unfortunately, but there was a collab in the works because, like I said, they did take a picture in the studio together. But let's look into this article really quick and see what they have to say. Drake reached out to Jennifer Lopez as soon as she filed divorce papers from Ben Affleck. The article goes on to say, Drake has been waiting for a second chance with Jennifer Lopez, and now that she's about to be single again amid her divorce from Ben Affleck, a source exclusively tells InTouch that Drake and JLo have been in regular contact, exchanging flirty late-night calls and texts. As soon as she filed the papers, Drake reached out, the insider continues. He was very sweet and told her what a fool Ben is for letting her get away. And then he quickly let her know he's ready and willing to step in and satisfy her. Okay. Here's the thing. This sounds very believable because we all know Drake, he's good with words, right? But we know that this is the kind of thing that JLo needs. This is the kind of thing that JLo, that speaks to her. She needs the validation. She has talked about this. She has been very honest in interviews, even in her documentary that she put out that was disastrous for her career. Watch my videos, they're linked below. And this is the kind of thing that would work on JLo. When something ends and she's feeling very low about herself, and I can imagine that the ending of the relationship with Ben, which was the ultimate fantasy of hers, she wanted to get back together with Ben, the one that got away, and finally getting back together with him. He finally married her and she thought this was forever. And for it to end so embarrassingly, so publicly, in such a short period of time, they didn't even make it to 2 years of marriage. Her ego has been really bruised and battered. So it is at a time like this, when she's at her most vulnerable, when traditionally she would be jumping into the next relationship. Because it is when she's at her lowest that she desperately needs to be picked up by the very thing she just lost. A man whom she was in love with, who had pledged his forever love to her. Her bruised ego is crying out for attention, and here comes the next guy, letting her know, I am the one. I'm the one that's going to love you the way you need to be loved. Because they all tell her that. And so this is exactly what she wants to hear. And I'm afraid Drake is giving it to her just like she wants. They have their own history and a lot of chemistry. So it really did a lot to make her smile. Getting that kind of attention when she was feeling so low was exactly what she needed. Now they're texting every day and things are getting hot. See, I'm reading this in real time in front of you, and everything I just said, they just said it. Because this is what we have been covering in the videos. This is what she thinks she needs. Okay, it goes on to say that her guard is up and she's aware that Drake is a player and she's not putting him in the relationship category, but she definitely needs the attention. Let's just say it that way. He's very intelligent and romantic, and she can count on him being discreet because he's always kept her secrets in the past. Okay, so we don't need to read any more from this article. It is very clear that Drake is hitting at the spot that she needs to be soothed. Her need for attention and romantic pursuit. That's very important to JLo. She needs to feel like she's being chased and wanted. Because as JLo herself has said, she has been looking for validation her entire life. Growing up, she never really felt like she was getting enough attention from her parents. Her mom, she describes her as a narcissist, somebody who's the life of the party, who wants to be the center of attention. And in her mom's pursuit of all eyes on me, she never really gave that much attention to Jennifer and her siblings. Her dad, on the other hand, was somebody who worked really hard. He had more than one job. I believe he was a factory worker at one time, and he really worked himself down. So he would work all night sometimes, and then he'd come home during the day, but he would be sleeping, so she didn't really have that relationship with him. And so this left her with a void within her, where she felt that she could never really get the attention and the love that she needed. Jennifer is a classic case of somebody who needs outside validation. She has talked about this. Even Ben mentioned this in the documentary that they made together.
In Jennifer's case, I don't think there's enough followers or movies or records or any of that stuff to still that part of you that still feels a longing and a pain. Ultimately, that's the work that you've got to do on your own.
And so it's very clear that she's not somebody who can give herself that validation that she needs. She's always seeking for others, whether it is romantic partners or her fans, to give her that sense of you are enough, you are lovable, you are worthy of love. And that has been the reason why she has never been able to nail down a functional, loving relationship. Because the truth is, we're never going to get that kind of love from somebody outside of ourselves. It's never going to happen. If you can't give it to yourself, others will fail. Because your love meter varies throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the months. You need different things at different times. And the people around you can't read your mind. They can't give you everything you need at every single turn. So if you're somebody who, unlike Jennifer Lopez, knows how to self-soothe, then you will give yourself in a functional way. By the way, we're not talking about self-soothing with substances or with dysfunctional behavior. We're not talking about that. We're talking about going into yourself, into your mind, and saying, okay, why am I feeling this way? I do this constantly. There are times that I just feel rotten and I just can't pinpoint what is it, what's bothering me, what specifically is bothering me. And I'll go back and I'll think, okay, when did I start feeling this way? And I'll think about what I was doing or what I was looking at or reading in that moment when I started getting these feelings. Okay, what did that trigger? And then you go back and you find these feelings and you realize, oh, that's what was bothering me. I read this thing and it triggered this feeling because it made me remember this memory where I felt this way and this brought it back. Okay, so now you know what's the root, what's causing this. Let's go back to that memory. Were those feelings warranted back then? When you felt that way back then, were you justified to feel that way? Or was that not based on the truth? And it's usually memories that we connect to our childhood or our adolescence, when we were very young, when our brains weren't really functioning properly, when we were over emotional, we didn't really understand the world, and we formed these false beliefs that become the narrators of our story. These false beliefs of you're not enough, you're not good enough. If Jennifer could go back to the days when she was a child and she wasn't feeling worthy of love because her mom was the center of attention and her dad wasn't around because he was working, she would put these things in a proper perspective. It's not that you are not lovable. It's just that your mother didn't give you the love that you necessarily needed because she herself obviously didn't get the love from her parents, which made her seek being the center of attention. So don't take it personal. That wasn't a Jenny problem. It was a mommy problem. Mommy needs to be validated by everybody. That's why she needs to be the center of attention. And in doing that, she neglected me. That has nothing to do with who I am. On the other side, Dad, not spending any time with me, he was working so he could provide for me. He loved me. He worked 2-3 jobs throughout the night. He slept a couple hours during the day and then he got up, got dressed, and went out there and worked. That was his way of showing love to me. It wasn't the love I needed. I needed time and attention from him, but he didn't know how to do that. All he knew was to be a provider. And he did it the best way he knew how. And his absence, as much as it hurt me, was a sign of how much he loved me, because his way of showing his love for me and my sisters and my mom was, I'm going to work myself down to the bones to provide for these ladies so they never have to go hungry. When she put these things in perspective, if she were to do that, then she'll realize, oh, so it doesn't mean that I am not worthy of love. My parents loved me the best way they could love me. But if I look at myself and I look at the qualities that I have and the things that I bring to the people in my life, the love, the affection, the good times that I bring, I fly everybody out to these magnificent vacations. I take them shopping. I work really hard so I can provide for them and give them everything they need. I'm a good person. I'm a really nice person. I'm a good time. I'm good to be around. I try to make people feel happy. I try to entertain them. She always talks about when she was a little girl, she would put on little shows for her family. She would dance for them and really perform because she wanted to make them feel good. If she can look at that, she can look at how hard she works, how talented she is, how determined she is to stick to things and to build things and to make beautiful, imagery for her fans and for people around her. She would realize, I am a good person, so I am worthy of love. I don't have to keep looking for people to prove to me that I am worthy of love. I have already proven it. I've already shown it. And those who deserve my love are going to stick around and enjoy my presence. And those who don't, goodbye. That's it. It's not up to me to prove my lovability. It's up to other people to prove that they deserve my love and my company. It is very important to be the kind of person who understands who you are, who understands what you need and understand how to give it to yourself. When you're the type of person who's always looking for outside validation and love, you are putting yourself in a very dangerous situation because you're opening yourself up for manipulation. If people understand that all they need to do is flatter you and tell you what you need to hear, you are opening up yourself to being manipulated, to being used and abused in extreme cases. People will use flattery as a key to get into the parts of yourself that is trusting so that they can get from you what they need. And once they have you in that vulnerable position where you have spent so much time with this person that you feel like you need them because when they were good to you, they were so good that even though things are bad right now, you just want to get back to the good days, to the good times when he was perfect and he was telling you everything you needed. Yeah, they will give you flashes of that to keep you at their side. But they understand that as long as they give you crumbs every once in a while, you won't go anywhere, and they will continue to extract from you everything they need from you. And you will not be getting this love that you thought you were going to be getting from this person. So you want to be the kind of person that gives to yourself. Now, I understand, listen, I am somebody who, my love language is words of affirmation. It's really wonderful When the people around you recognize the good things that you do, they recognize that you're a good person, they tell you that they see your value, it feels very good, and I appreciate it. But I have learned over the years that my love language should only feel like love when it's coming from the people that really love me. The only people whose words and whose actions you should trust are the people who have earned your trust, who have been there long enough so that you know that when they give to you, they're not expecting something in return. They're not trying to trick you so they can then do the quick bait and switch. Only there for their own benefit, ignoring yours. Learn the difference. Learn the difference. And when people outside of your trust circle say nice things to you, say thank you. But don't hold on to it for dear life, to the point where you need to hear them say it over and over again. No. As long as the people that you love and trust say it to you, and you say it to yourself, you don't need to hear it from strangers. It's appreciated. Thank you for saying it. Didn't have to say it. But I'm already good. That's where you want to get to. That's the place where you want to get to. Okay? I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. We have this little channel that's growing. Slowly but surely we are growing. I would love to have you come here and watch other videos with me. And while you're here, please peruse my videography and see what you like, what you resonate with. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this topic. Please share this with others. Give it a like if you enjoyed it. And hopefully, I will see you in the next video.